membership. Let's get this recorded. Good morning, good morning, good morning, the world out there. We're having our closed session again on, wow. So Sharon, firstly, before we started, let's introduce everybody that's on the call, that's going to be contributing to the call. So if I first say Sharon is there, good morning, Sharon, again.
Yes, good morning again. Good morning.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
And I think we have our in-house nutritionist. We have Jeremiah. Good morning. Good morning, Jeremiah. Good morning, Jeremiah. Jeremiah is obviously having some fun. And then we have Nick. Good morning. Okay. Let's hope you're going to be faster for us later. So good morning, Jeremiah. And then also we have Nick here. Good morning, Nick here.
Good morning. Good morning, Health Restore family. Good morning, Superfoods for Super You family. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. And we have our, there's only one there today. Good morning. We have our chef, Chef Jessica. Good morning, Chef Jessica.
Good morning, everyone. You are welcome to Superfood Super You. I'm so excited to be here today.
Oh, I'm excited. I love it when I go into the kitchen. I see colors. Oh, colors is good for us. Colors is good for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I want us to remember when you go into your kitchen, look at the colors. So yeah, good morning, Chef Jessica. Where's your twin? You don't look like a twin today. Where's your twin?
My twin is on another place to changing lives. Yeah, changing family life all the way in Abia State.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Wow.
You mean you as a chef go as far as Abia State? Wow. So anybody that wants our chefs, listen, they go all around the world and especially in Nigeria. Yeah. So good morning, Chef Jessica. So we're going to see you later. You're going to share some information with us. Okay. So Sharon, over to you, Sharon, our hostess with the mostest. Over to you, Sharon.
Well, I'll say good morning again. And I want to rush straight into our statistics, our health statistics.
Oh, Sharon, man. Sharon, those health things, every day I hear them, I shiver. Okay, so
yes.
Sharon,
I think it's a timely reminder every day. Now, Tony, did you know that in Nigeria today, the average life expectancy is 57 years young? 57 years young. Not old, but young.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because the thing that we're going to share today is also going to make a few things clear. Yeah. So yeah, Sharon, I'm surprised.
And then, so we have some lifestyle illnesses. One of them is diabetes. Did you know that one person is diagnosed every 2 minutes in Nigeria with diabetes? Every 2 minutes.
Terrible.
Okay. Terrible. And then moving on to high blood pressure. High blood pressure puts 1 in 4 Nigerians at risk every day. And around 9 out of 10 Nigerians are unaware that they actually have this illness of high blood pressure. So there's 9 out of 10 people walking around not knowing that they have high blood pressure until it gets worse, obviously. And then we have that C word, cancer. Now, cancer actually is very shocking. Did you know that 10 Nigerians die every hour of cancer? So that's male, female, adult, children, different types of cancer, prostate cancer, all different types of cancer. So that's very frightening. And then obesity. Do you know that there are so many people? I mean, I tend not to say too much about obesity because there's a context that you put into it, which is to do with the country you are from and your makeup of your body, etc. So there are many people who are obese in Nigeria, and children inclusive, are obese by the age of 4, which is very, very shocking.
Wow.
So those are the statistics that are live for Nigeria as we speak. And I'm sure that the statistics will be even worse than what we are actually hearing, because we're looking at updating our statistics. Okay, Tony.
Well, Sharon, thank you for sharing that with us. I like how you say statistics. Well, they matter. They matter. Those figures matter. So I want to just say to everybody, again, good morning if you just joined. we are getting ready to talk about the brain. You know, the brain is very important. You know, they say they claim someone, unfortunately, is um, is no longer on this earth when when the brain no longer functions. Yeah. So if your brain is not functioning, is dead, then you're legally dead, even though you may be able to be kept alive by the machines that are there. So, Shashan, what do you know about the brain so far? What do you know about the brain? Because you know, I did biology at A level standard, I think it was. No, sorry,
Okay.
I tell a lie. O level standard. And those of you that don't know what O levels are, they're like GCSEs. Those of you that are not into the UK education, they're like jam. Is it jam? They call it jam or butter. Is it jam and butter or jam and bread? I don't know. Anyway, I'm only joking, guys. I'm only joking. So, Sharon, so what do you know about the
Yeah.
brain? Well, have you had any experience of this at all?
Of what, the brain?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, what I know is that the brain needs to be sustained with the right type of food to make it become more active and to keep us, well, I say to keep us young as well. Because if your brain is active, you've got energy, you've got health, and you've got life. So I think food plays a big important part in the brain. So therefore, today's topic is something that I'm so excited to hear about. What type of foods is going to make my brain active and jump up and down and make me more healthier?
Well, Sean, on a serious note, there are some people that when they get older, we've been led to believe that when they get older, then the brain is not functioning as well as when they're younger. And to my surprise, there are some studies that have been done out there, and some things are not quite as they say. Yeah. I know there's a lot of there's somebody I know that unfortunately some people actually, not somebody, some people that Alzheimer's is quite common in the family. Yeah. And we are kind of like believe that we have to just wait and see whether we will have Alzheimer's or dementia. Well, the thing is, from what I've discovered, yeah, is that we should not wait and see. We actually can do something about it. And when I say something about it, I'm saying something in terms of preventative, yeah, and something in terms of delaying it, yeah, because you know we talk about lifespan and health span. Sean, do you remember me talking about health span and lifespan? Do you remember
Yes.
Do you remember the difference between the two?
Balancing is entertaining the balance of your health against your life.
Very good.
That's what I can remember.
You know, lifespan is you're living. Whenever you leave this world, that's the end of your lifespan. But health span can finish before your lifespan. The quality of your life is based on your health span. The quality of your life is based on your health span. Now, some people don't realize that when your health span is no longer good, then unfortunately, and I'm saying this, you're alive, but you're dying. Yeah? Because what are you dying from? You're dying from the disease that you have. You're dying from the health problem you have. So lifespan is nothing to write home about. There are some people that are living in pain. Yeah. And sometimes, even though you have a long lifespan, it's almost as bad as having a short lifespan if your health span has finished. So really, we really want to make sure we get this right. And this is really why I mentioned lifespan and health span, because you know what? When your brain is not functioning the way it should function, then your life is not the same. It's not the same. You know, and I'm not talking about just memory losses because of age and because of inactivity. I'm talking about, you know, getting into worse. So, Charlotte, so from that, what do you conclude about the health span and lifespan?
Well, I think it's being mindful absolutely being mindful about the actual strength that your health can give you for a good, better quality of life. So whatever we are eating, however we are taking care of ourselves, determines what kind of quality of life that you will proceed with.
Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started anyway. And there's some stuff that I'm going to go through that will excite people, and some stuff will make people sad. Now, I'm just remembering that there are people out there that are suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's and some of the brain challenges, diseases, and we just got to pray for them. Yeah, and obviously hope that they get they have a better life by learning some things that they can eat that might make them feel better. Yeah, and that's the main thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my slide now. So you should see my slide come up. First thing, brain power. Yeah, we sent this out. Contrary to popular belief, memory problems can affect people of any age. Forgetting names, misplacing keys, leaving the garage open. I know my wife sometimes she puts. I hope she's not listening, but I know sometimes she leaves the house keys in the door. So like anybody can open the door for her. They have the key in the door. But obviously that doesn't happen often. But sometimes I think I remember I remember especially when we were early stages when she was pregnant and so on. She started forgetting things. But this is not really things. Those things are temporary. But what we're looking about is the brain, the damaged things that can damage the brain, and therefore we can have some problems. Yeah. So this is what we have. So just moving on. Those of you that know me, my name's Tony, and I'm obviously a nutritionist. And then we have Jeremiah, who's going to be supporting some of the things that I'm talking about today. That's it. We're here today to talk about brain health. And when we look at brain health, we're looking at different sides. We're looking about what kind of things can improve our brain health. What are the common brain diseases? We've got Alzheimer's, we've got dementia, you've got brain cancer, you've got epilepsy, you've got mental disorder, you've got Parkinson's, you've got stroke, and more. There are many more things that affect us on this side. So I'm just going to, Sharon, I'm just going to silence your mic because I think I can hear some things in the background, or it's not you, or it might be you, or it might be Jeremiah, just sort of for recording purposes. Yeah. So please unmute yourself when it's time's right. Okay. So what we have is these are common diseases. Now, it's true. There's things like meditation that can help, social interaction, physical exercise, food and nutrition, which is one of the things that we're talking about today, sleep and relaxation. These are things that could help us. Yeah, help us on the journey. So moving on. So I just want to. I mean, this picture is fairly kind of like, I looked at it and I go, wow, look at the difference. A normal brain, and then you've got a brain that has mild cognitive impairment, and then you've got the full Alzheimer's disease. You can see the difference in the brain. It's clear. The brain is completely clear. Now, sometimes before we have an Alzheimer's disease, we probably have mild cognitive impairment. Now, what we're trying to do is give you information so that when you actually get to that point where you feel that you're forgetting things, maybe we can give you information today that can help you recover from that mild cognitive impairment. Because obviously, if we look at Alzheimer's, then once you have Alzheimer's, then in terms of curing, or nobody knows anything about how you can reverse Alzheimer's or cure it. There's still a lot of research going out there. But there is research that shows that if you have mild cognitive impairment, it can be reversed. So, and obviously we're talking about the ages a little bit, maybe about 60 upwards and so on. It could be replaced. Yeah, replaced. So
Tommy, pardon me.
Yeah.
There's something in the middle of the screen that's blocking. Yeah, the last one. Yeah, you've taken
Okay,
that off.
that means you're looking at the wrong screen. Somebody should have told me that there's a wrong screen on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just make sure I get the right screen on there. You shouldn't have seen that if you're on the right screen. Okay.
That's
Yeah. So this right screen. Okay. So yes. So what we're saying is stage. I mean, normal is normal. Yeah. When you start forgetting things, you're getting older, then you probably might have mild cognitive impairment. Therefore, if you know it, just do something about it by using this information today. But obviously, Alzheimer's disease is full blown, and lots of research are going into that. Okay, so just moving on to the next slide so that we can see. Kind of symptoms, I've said it already, really. Impairment, multiple. So what we have is short-term memory problems with abstract concept, attention deficiency, showed information processing, slowed information processing, and these are things that you need to look out for. Yeah. So what I'm hoping is that we're talking to everybody here, but especially those people that don't have Alzheimer's, and especially those people that have the mild cognitive. These are kind of the things that you're looking at that can affect your cognitive impairment. Did you know obesity is one? Hypertension is one. Yeah. These are things that actually affect us, our cognitive impairment. So really, what we need to do is we need to be aware of it, because it's not just somebody that has diabetes. Yeah, is from what I've heard, and I'll probably share later, is increases their chances of having dementia and possibly Alzheimer's too. Okay? So just to let you know on that. Sharon, is there anything you want to say? Because I know your mic's on. Otherwise...
Yes. What you're saying is that from our brain goes from normal to possible Alzheimer's. That's the end actually result if we don't take care of ourselves. So I just want to ask, there's two questions I have actually. The first one is that there's some lifestyle illnesses here that we talk about a lot. We talk about high blood pressure, hypertension, cholesterol. So if people have got those illnesses already or potential to have them, does it mean, as you've already said, that it can actually affect our brain functioning if we don't take care of what our brain needs in terms of food, nutrition, etc.? And at what age? What age can that start from?
Okay, well, what I'm going to say is that everything's on research. So I'm going to share more. I'm going to share more research over the next slides. I don't want to go ahead myself, but I'll say one thing is that yes, if you have some of the lifestyle, a lot of the chronic lifestyle diseases can increase your risk of brain damage, of as we said, dementia, Alzheimer's. But what we have to understand is not everybody will get it. Yeah. And also we have to understand that there's a little bit of a relationship. There's a relationship between your genes also. But as I will share on the slide, there's a few things that are going to come up on the slide which are going to be related to some studies, because the studies are the ones that are actually giving us more insight into how we can use food to help ourselves. Okay, so I just want to move on to the next slide. So those of you, if you have any questions, remember, if you have any questions, please just put a message in the thing. So I hope you can see my main screen. Yep, I hope you can see it. Great. So if you can, no problem. So what we're going to do is I'm now going to just go through a study. An interesting study that I came across while on this journey to see how we can help people. And there was a study that they found, they called the Scottish Jewels. Now this is to do with an IQ test on 70,000 11-year-olds in Scotland. Yeah, that's why it's called the Scottish Jewels. Yeah, and they did an IQ test and that was in 1947. 1947. That's a long time ago. And what they actually then they lost the study. They lost the study, but just 2012 they found the study again, and some interesting things in terms of the IQ and study that they found. They discovered that it shedded new light in terms of unhealthy lifestyle can damage the brain as well as the body. So usually we talk about our lifestyle damaging the body, but at the same time it can damage the brain. I suppose the brain is part of the body. Um, it's shown that smoking, obesity, lack of exercise, bad food can contribute to mental decline, as well to the physical diseases such as cancer and diabetes, with which they are already closely associated. Yeah, the study suggested that dementia diseases such as Alzheimer's, which is in the UK, where I am talking from today, 750,000 British suffer from, are partly self-inflicted. Can you imagine? They're partly self-inflicted and could be avoided or delayed by leading a healthy lifestyle. Look at that carefully. I want to just repeat that again. Listen to this very carefully. It says that such diseases as Alzheimer's are partly self-inflicted. Again, partly self-inflicted and could be avoided or delayed. Listen to that again. Avoided or delayed by leading a healthy lifestyle. Remember I talked to you about lifespan and health span. So if you have a lifespan, we will have a lifespan. Yeah. But our health span and lifespan are different. But what percentage of your lifespan is your health span? Now, what we're saying here is that if we are learning more about this study, that we could increase our health span by not by eating well and by doing the right things. Okay. What they had to do is after the study, because this was 11-year-old, they tracked down the people that they did the study on. So they were children now they're adults, very old adults. And what they found when they tracked people down, and they tracked over 1,500 people while this study was going on, what they actually found was that and also what they did is they tracked them down and they persuaded them to do the the test, including resitting the same 1947 exam. Imagine they're going to resit the exam they sat when they were 11 years. Now they're about 70, 80 years old. Yeah, and also submitted to, and then also they had the MRI scan on their brains to determine whether they had suffered any age-related deterioration. Now, moving on, what the findings were: people who are brighter, more socially engaged, and who live healthy lives retain their mental faculties as well as their physical health for much longer. This is by Professor Wally. Now, I can relate to this. I can relate to this, and the reason why I can relate to this, my dad is coming on. He's 90, 95 now, and I'm telling you, his mental faculty is right up there, right up there. My dad drives everywhere. You can't. Every time I'm calling my mom, I say, "Where's dad?" Dad's out. Yeah. So guys, and when you talk to him, wow. So I can relate to this. Yeah. That's why I'm saying that. Now, between the ages of 11 and 70 plus, the way you live can raise or lower your cognitive skills by around 10%. Yeah, that was by one of the researchers also. Yeah. Now, if you smoke through life, it typically reduces your IQ by 2%. I said by star. Starr also found that the psychotropic drugs prescribed against depression and other mental conditions had similar effect. Okay, as the smoking. High physical fitness and a high quality diet, particularly one rich in omega-3, which we'll be talking later, fatty acids, found in fish oils, enhance mental power. Yeah. Also, what we found is men of this generation, with this study that they found tend to retain their faculties far better than women. Sorry, Sharon. Yeah, showing an average IQ several points higher than their female peers. Now, there's something behind that, because at this time, think about it, 1947. What opportunities did women have at that time? You know, they didn't have the opportunities that they have now. I'm sure if this study was now done now for the next 80 years, that would change. So I'm just defending the ladies there, because your IQ is is up there. Yeah. A separate finding that will be undetermined. The foods, by the way, the food supplement industry, and this is, apologies for those of you in the food supplement industry, it's not quite. It's for this study, so don't worry if you feel bad. Which is now worth 362 million a year in the UK. Is that most vitamins and minerals from supplements had almost no effect on mental ability. But then, talking about the supplement industry, we obviously had supplements containing folic acid and vitamin B12 do help reduce levels, of the homoestrogen, and which is a amino acid that in high levels is associated with increased risk of vascular disease and dementia. So the B12 supplements and those that have folic acid help reduce levels. So that's what we have there. Also, the findings by another professor also said she found mental decline and dementia in old age closely related to lifestyle factors, including levels of activity, socializing, obesity, and high blood pressure. Listen to that, obesity and high blood pressure. Yeah. She said that the brain shows marked increase in degenerative disorders with age, but there is evidence that up to 50% of dementia might be preventable. That's great news. Up to 50% might be preventable. So at this point, I just want to bring Sharon in at this point, just before we get onto because we're going to get onto the food, Sharon. So Sharon, are you there? I hope you're there. We can't hear you at all. Can't hear you at all. So hopefully we will hear you very soon. Yeah?
Yes, Tony.
Okay.
I'm here.
So you heard that. You heard it.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did very much.
Okay.
And what was interesting is that high blood pressure features a lot in the mental health well-being of us. And our statistics are so high on high blood pressure. So it just makes sense that we take care of ourselves.
Great. Yeah. And what's your thoughts about the IQ of a lady and a man?
Well, I won't argue with it as it's research, but I think that, we'll get there. As you said, if those statistics were done now, I think it would be different. It'd be different, but I appreciate the research that's done. Yeah, I won't argue with that. I won't argue with it.
Great. So, hello, Chef Jessica. We have an
Hello, sir.
Good. We have an early visit to the kitchen. Yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So what do you have for us, Chef Jessica?
Okay, so today we are going to be making some brain food, powerful brain food. And we have rice. We have brown rice, pre-boiled rice.
Right. Okay.
Honey beans.
So what's it called? By the way, what's the meal called? The brain food meal, is it?
Yeah, this is brain food. It's just rice and beans.
Rice and
with
beans.
some
Okay.
super brain food.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to hand over to you, and then I think Jeremiah is going to take over at this point, and then we were going to get
All right,
started.
sir.
So thank you.
Okay.
So we're going to hand over to the kitchen, and they're going to show you. This is good for all of you, everyone. It doesn't matter how old you are. You need to. Your brain needs to be healthy. It doesn't matter how old you are. Your brain needs to be healthy. Yeah. And guess what? If your brain's healthy, if you're young and you're doing those exams, guess what? You're going to get better results if your brain is healthy. So let me hand over to Jeremiah and Chef Jessica. Over to you. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. That was an amazing one. So if you want to write the exam, just think of how you prepare your brain food meal. That's a good one. That's a good one.
We are gonna have parents now saying before your exam, eat this and eat that. This is the meal we're cooking.
Yes, simply.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Right. So Jeremiah, are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready to go.
Okay, so here I have my garlic. I'm going to be shredding this, and this just leave it for about 5 minutes for the element to go up.
The garlic is one of the best spice we have. It's part of the allicin family, and it helps you fight against parasites. It helps you fight against bacteria. It helps you fight against virus. And look at that. So she's going to leave it for 5 minutes so that the allicin will be able to release itself and your body will be able to maximize it. So that's what we have there for the garlic and the allicin.
Here I have my ginger. I have my ginger with the skin on.
Oh, perfectly. Why she's having the skin on it because of ginger is a root veggie, and most of the nutrients are found in the skin. Like 50% of the nutrients, to be precise, is found in the skin. So we're able to maximize that nutrient. We leave the skin on with the ginger, and you're going to maximize the nutrient.
Then I have my purple onion.
Awesome. So this is another good food boosters. It boosts your immune system. It's also part of the allium family. That means it contains good amount of allicin that your body can also maximize. So onion is one of the best booster, one of the best immune booster we have. And due to its purple color, it helps you fight against different kind of lifestyle disease like your cancer and your healthier.
Here I have my turmeric.
Perfect. Wonderful. Since we are talking about the brain disease, one of the things turmeric contain is curcumin. Curcumin is one of the enzymes that help you against Alzheimer's disease that has been found in the brain. So turmeric is one of the good spices that we have there. So you can see the spicy, yes.
All right, so I'm going to start cooking immediately. So I'm going to toss in my ginger, turmeric, and onions inside the preheated cookware.
Awesome. So heating it brings out more of those enzymes that are there. So that's why she wants to apply a low heat or a medium heat to it, so that all the enzymes and all the antioxidants and all the compounds in there can come out and function in your body. So it is 2 times the amount of the nutrient you take in while it's being on fire.
Okay, the next one I'm going to be adding in my honey pre-boiled beans.
Fantastic, fantastic. Beans has a lot of nutrients inside of it. We did that in the last video. So one of the things in relation to the brain, one of the things the beans contain is zinc. So zinc is very powerful. It helps for brain development, helps for brain metabolism.
Then I'm going to be adding in my pre-boiled brown rice.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Also, rice is also a good food for the brain. One of the things it contains selenium, and selenium helps to protect your brain. And they're also rich in vitamin B. Like we said, vitamin B also help you against Alzheimer's disease?
My boiled tomatoes with pepper mix.
Oh, awesome, fantastic. So as you can see, tomatoes mixed with pepper means they have a lot of great antioxidants inside of it. So those antioxidants help you fight against cancer, like cancer of the brain. So if you see your lycopene inside of it, and it is being used, maximized very well when you apply it to them.
Okay, I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon of homemade natural spices seasoning. We made this by ourselves.
That's fantastic. So just to
Okay.
spice.
Yeah. So inside this my seasoning, I have turmeric, I have ginger, I have garlic, I have parsley, celery, and salt, sea salt.
So fantastic.
Okay, so now I'm going to be adding in my garlic now.
Okay, so seeing that she's left it for about 5 minutes, all the allicins there will be released on it, and your body will be able to maximize it in the food. So that's why she left it. That's why she's adding it at the later end.
Okay, then I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Keep it leveled.
Okay, so this is just to balance and bring taste to your food. So you're eating a healthy, delicious meal.
Then I'm going to add clean water.
Okay, so now as you can see, this is a very, very adequate diet for your brain. It contains all the food, all the nutrients, all the compound, all the enzymes that your brain needs. For example, like your vitamin B1. Vitamin B1 opens up the nerve cells and allows energy to get into the brain. Your vitamin D3, which contains, we found them more in your mushroom.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeremiah. But then we are not going to be adding this kale now. We are going to be adding that when the food is ready. Okay, so that we do not lose the nutrients and the minerals in our kale. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So your kale is contains one of the nutrients that your brain needs, which is the zinc. It also contains zinc, and you can see them most of it in your cruciferous family, like your broccoli, like your spinach, like your cabbage. That's another substitute if you cannot get kale. So you can bring your spinach into it, you can bring your broccoli into it if kale isn't available. So there's a lot of nutrients inside of the food that we're seeing now. So to Jessica, any other thing?
All right, thank you so much, Jeremiah, for that wonderful information. We are going to be leaving our brown rice and beans to cook for 15 minutes, and then we get back to it to add our kale. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. Chef Jessica, you mentioned that we can use green leaves, any type of green leaves. You mentioned spinach. In fact, Jeremiah has spinach, kale. So, and I think Jeremiah actually talked about mushroom. You can also add mushroom.
Yes.
Yes. So would you add mushroom with the leaf as well, with the green leaf?
No, you add mushroom. The mushrooms also serve as a protein. So because that, so we use beans, honey beans. So then you can actually add mushroom from the beginning, so that it cooks together with the rice and the beans. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you wouldn't need to add spinach or kale or any of those if you're using mushroom. Is that right?
Yes. So you add those when the food is almost done.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yes, and I believe you can also mix the mushroom and the kale together, just to have the maximum nutrients that you need. So, like the mushroom contains good amount of vitamin D, which your brain actually needs. It increases your memory, it increases your attention level, it increases your perception level, it increases your process of planning. It helps you in decision making and it helps you in multitasking. So one of the things that vitamin D does to you is that it increases all your cognitive functioning. So that's why it's good you get most of your vitamin D from sunlight also, which is a very, very good example of the vitamin D. So these are the things that we talk about there. So you can see your rice and your beans, good amount of zinc. So the zinc helps in developing your brain from that level to another level. So as you grow, your brain needs to grow. So one of the things the beans does is that it helps you develop the brain. It helps you in the brain metabolism. It helps you increases the brain cognitive span. So it's powerful. So at the basis, it contains more of the zinc, and that's the function of the zinc in accordance to your brain that is there. So and selenium also in the rice protects the brain. These are the ones that fight against cancer. These are your police. These are your guard. These are your shield.
Okay.
Brain. Yes.
So Jeremiah, is there any other example of zinc foods? I know
Okay.
you talked a lot about zinc being important.
Your nuts contains
Nuts.
yes, and some of your seed like your almond seeds, your cashew nuts, and your peanuts, they also contains zinc.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So one of the
Thank
food
you.
yes. So one of the food you can also look at when we talk about the brain is your sweet potato, which is a very, very good one. The energy that the brain needs, the main source of energy for the brain comes from your sweet potato. So that's another food we can actually look at since we're not cooking that today. There's something you can also add, or you can also make your own special delicacy from. So if you meet Madam Jessica, she can give you the recipe of making your own potato brain food.
Oh,
That
wow. Wow. And just to add, I know we've covered this before, but sweet potato is more healthier than, for example, Irish potato, isn't it?
yes,
Yes.
and have that in
Right.
also.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm getting hungry already. Just talking about these foods.
These are the right of beans or the sweet potato.
But I always find that when I take sweet potato, I feel full quicker than when I've taken Irish potatoes. It's just that my whole system feels full. So there's something in the sweet potato that is much more heavier than the Irish potato, much more nutritious, I guess, isn't it?
Yes, much more nutritious. And you know the brain's form of energy is kind of quite different from the ones the other part of the body use. So that's why the sweet potato is very, very important. That is why it's been specified that the energy for the brain comes majorly from the sweet potatoes. So it helps your function, your cognitive functioning, and helps your brain to work faster and not get tired, and help you against depression, which most people suffer from nowadays. So it can help a
Wow.
lot.
Wow. All I can understand is mushrooms, sweet potatoes, and green leaf. Very, very important.
That's all you need to understand at the moment.
Yes. Welcome back, Tony.
I never went anywhere. Don't worry. I was just listening. I was just enjoying. I was enjoying. So just thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you very, Jeremiah. We'll call you back. And if we've got a raised hand. If you can put the comments, because what it is we've got quite put a comment or a question in the breakdown, and then we can talk further. But the good news is, as we can see, look, there's brain food. There's brain food, or there's food that can help reduce the risk of damaging the brain, or there's food that can help improve your brain health. So I want to just start going through some of the problems that we have first, and then I'll go to the solutions. So if you can see my screen, Sharon, just shout, yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen, so I'll be very happy.
Okay, yes. You know what? This man is like, I am taking action. Let's not wait. Wow. Let's not wait for whether I am lucky not to have Alzheimer's or whether I'm lucky not to have cognitive damage. Let's not wait. Let's not assume it's just in the genes. So this person, when you know that you have some control, you feel happy. Yeah, it's like driving a car and you know you're in control. You know that, yes, I can do something. I can stop. But if you're driving a car and you don't have control, you know, my wife, sometimes when I'm driving, guess what? She's pressing the brake on her side. Yeah. But I say to her, there's no brake on the passenger side. Yeah. Why don't you press your brake? Yeah. But I am in control. Yeah. So I can press the brake. So when you know that we've given you the power back to say, look, there's you reduce the risk of cognitive decline. and also increase your brain health. So we're giving you a bit of control because you can do it by diet and a number of things. So it's not just in your genes. It's not just in your genes. So just moving on. Yeah. Some people ask genes versus diet. Genes versus diet. Which one is the more important? Is it which one is going to make it more likely for me to have dementia, Alzheimer's, and all the other brain diseases that are possible? Yeah. Now, 2 decades ago, over 20 years ago or more, most scientists wouldn't even hear that it was anything other than the genes. Now, remember one thing. Remember one thing I say to you: we are scientists discover something now, but we will hear about it 25 years later. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're 25 years behind where science is right now in terms of knowledge. And like we say in the Food Save Me Academy, what we're doing, we're bridging that gap between nutrition science and the community so that you can take a little bit more control of what you do. Now, all changes now all has changed now with research that has been done. Yeah. And certain studies have now been released. And those studies have been based on the fact that what you eat, they looked at things like what you eat, how you exercise, and all other things. And the study showed that majority prevented and delayed by diet. So the majority of these brain diseases can be prevented or delayed by diet. That's the majority. So I want to just make sure, Sharon, I think something's happening in your screen and you're drawing on my screen. So I think if we can make sure that you don't have a pen on your screen. I think IT, if you can just look at Sharon, please. Yep. There's something happening. I think she's got a note on there. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. Now, some of the things that we need to start looking at avoiding. Yeah. We have number one, we have the issue with high fat diet. High fat diet. Now, we've got to be careful because high fat diet has been related to increasing the risk of brain damage, increasing the risk of dementia, increasing the risk of Alzheimer's and other brain diseases. So high fat diet, what we're looking at, we just need to be careful. The saturated fats, that we're taking in, we've got to be very careful about it. And I'm just going to share with you some things about the saturated fats. So, for example, if I can go to the next screen, I'm just going to see, because IT doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. Let me see if I can find out if I can get the screen cleared. 1 second about it. Let me just see. 1 second. I want to see if I can clear my screen because it's looking messy. Clear all drawings. Okay, cleared it. Okay, so where was I? I was on high fat. High fat is a problem. Yeah. Now, Chicago's Health and Aging Project studied a lot of people who took saturated fats. And saturated fats can be found in many of these foods, packaged foods and so on, high levels of saturated fat. Yeah. The big source of saturated fats are in dairy products and meat. Dairy products and meat. Okay. And what you find is that these people had 2 to 3 times higher risk of Alzheimer's. Hence, saturated fat is not good for our brain or, guess what, for our heart. Now, some of you like your coconut oil. I'm going to upset you. You like your coconut oil and you like your palm oil. You know what? They're high in saturated fats. Yeah. And these things are found in many products. Yeah, to preserve the life of products and also to make it. So you've got to be very careful. Look at the labels of the food. Okay. Studies show that people with diabetes have about double the risk of Alzheimer's compared to others. So if you have diabetes, please do something about it. Remember, if you have type 2 diabetes, you can do something about it right now. Yeah. We have the Health Restore program. We have a number of things that can help you reverse or at least manage and control that too. Okay. Um, Dairy products are loaded with saturated fats, like I said. That saturated fat, that's what makes it solid, like the butter. The butter is solid, that's the saturated fat. Olive oil is better, but it still has saturated fat in. So if you want to reduce or get none, then don't have dairy products or olive oil. Yeah. White meat, some people complain white meat are high in saturated fat. Sorry about the spelling mistake. High in saturated fat. And also red meat. So I know some people are always given the debate between white or red meat. They're high in saturated, even though, for example, you can take the skin off, say, chicken, for example, and therefore you reduce the amount of fat in there. But you still have saturated fat in there, and that's still going to affect you. So these are some of the things. Okay. So Sharon, do you want to have a comment?
Yeah. Somebody's asked a question about: is it healthy to take skimmed milk?
Well, I'd rather have no milk. I mean, what is? Are we talking about? We're talking about dairy milk, aren't we? Really? And
Yes.
one of the things that we need to understand is, look, is that we're trying to encourage the use of plant-based milk. You know, I don't think I've taken dairy milk for a long time, a long time. We don't really need it. It's remember that we talked about, if any of you do it on the program, we talked about addiction, and it's the addiction that's actually getting people into all these things. They're addicted to milk, so they look for alternative, healthier ways of drinking milk. How about we manage the addiction? So if we manage the addiction, then we don't need to have any form of that milk. Yeah, and that's one thing. Like, everything you can get from milk, you can get from a plant. You just need to find out what is the alternative. Okay? Any more questions on that?
So, no, I suppose the examples are: you can take almond milk, you can take soya milk as an alternative to skimmed milk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on. Those of you, alcohol has been shown to help, but in small quantities. So those of you that like taking a lot of alcohol, it's dangerous, and it has been linked. A lot of alcohol. If you're consuming a lot of alcohol, it has been linked to increased risk of Alzheimer's. Just to make sure, those of you. Now, the other thing is inadequate sleep. Inadequate sleep has been linked to increased risk of Alzheimer's or brain health, or and then you've got low fiber diets. Yeah, again, lack of exercise. All these increase or make your brain health worse. Okay, just to give you an example. Chemicals. Some of you have a lot of chemicals around that can affect you also. Yeah, and so on. Other chemicals from different things. They all find a way into the body, into the system. Yeah, so that affects. Also, some of you have to be careful with your consumption of iron, especially. Yeah, because iron also has been linked. Yeah, to increased risk of Alzheimer's, and also Alzheimer's too. Some of you are getting iron from different sources, so we need to look at. We need iron, but if you're deficient in iron, we need to find why you're deficient in iron. It could be that you are losing blood somewhere, and we need to identify that, and doctors will help you on that side. But again, we don't want iron coming from our cookware, yeah, because we have heme and we have non-heme. So we'll talk about that later. Now, I just want to now talk about the good things. What are the things we need to eat? We talked about some of the things we need to avoid. What are the good things? And man, this one's giving me, the colors are bright. Yeah. The good things. The top of the list is the berries group. Researchers found that people that consume the most berries get this anthocyanins, and this is the pigment that makes berries blue. Okay, it's the pigment that makes berries blue. Yeah, so the anthocyanins are antioxidants that knock out the free radicals, and these free radicals which are damaging part of what is hitting the brain, the damaging part which is hitting the brain. Okay, so it's that pigment. Now, berries can help reduce the risk of Alzheimer's, but also if a person is in the first stage of mild cognitive impairment, researchers in the University of Cincinnati, actually found that blueberry juice or grape juice, will to an extent reverse it. So if you're taking a cup of blueberry juice or grape juice, and you only have a mild cognitive impairment, then it can help to a certain extent reverse it. Now, in acidic conditions, anthocyanins appear as red pigment, while blue pigment of Alzheimer's exists in alkaline conditions, just to give you a little bit of information about the anthocyanins. Okay. Next one on the list, surprise, surprise, is your green leafy vegetables. Jeremiah talked about them, spinach, kale, etc. They show less risk of developing Alzheimer's if you consume them on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So those of you that like your spinach and kale, you're on the right track. Just make sure that you're preparing them and eating them the right way. Okay, that's another thing. Next one on the list is vitamin E. Vitamin E. So vitamin E, and by the way, I'm not talking about vitamin E supplements, because if you remember rightly, there was a study done, that study that was done in 1947 that they found in 2012, they found that the supplements had no effect on actually on the brain diseases, apart from, I think it was B12 and folic. So we really want to get natural source of vitamin E. That's what we really want. And where do we get our natural source of vitamin E? We get our sesame seeds, we've got our sunflower seeds, we've got our almonds, a handful a day, will help you reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's. And they found that the more vitamin E you do, you could reduce by about 50% your chances. So that's a good one to go for, vitamin E. So Sharon, do you want to say anything on that before we move to the next slide?
No, it's very heartening to see all of those foods that we actually follow ourselves on our own programs. So it's great. I mean, we talked earlier on the session that Chef Jessica shared with us about sweet potato versus Irish potato. So it's always good to have that difference of awareness, so you know that whatever type of food you're taking is actually helping. It's great.
Great.
Yes, sorry. Just
and your sweet potatoes there. The sweet potatoes
yes,
there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's sorry, I'm going backwards a little bit, but somebody's asked a question about palm oil. And is there a limit to how much palm oil you should take each day, or is it just keeping away from the palm oil?
Well, you know what? Palm oil, if you're not we're talking about reducing the risk of Alzheimer's. So, we're not talking where palm oil can be good. We're talking about brain. We're talking about brain damage. We're talking about the health of the brain. We're talking about the cognitive decline. And on this subject, palm oil is not really good for us because it's high in saturated fats. But then there may be another subject where palm oil has some other good properties that might be good for that. But this topic itself is not good for us. Coconut oil is the same. And I know some people religiously have palm oil and coconut oil. And sorry to say, if you're looking to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's, then those are not in the list, in the researchers list. Okay?
Yes.
I hope that's clear.
Yes, it's very clear. You talked a lot about the berries and how beneficial berries can be. The strawberries, the blueberries, and the grapes. Somebody's mentioned a very valid point, actually, that they're mostly imported berries. So is there a local grown alternative that we can put in place?
Well, one thing I say is, look, there's always, when you see this, you can create an opportunity. So somebody on this call may actually have see an opportunity here. Yeah. And that opportunity is for them to be able to look and see what can they do to be able to grow these berries in Nigeria, because they are very expensive. They are very expensive. But the quality of your life versus the price, I believe that the quality of life is better than how expensive they are. You see, so yeah, and that's it. And and one thing we need to understand is, look, we are still developing in every area of the, like when we talk about Nigeria, we're still developing as a country. And when we say developing, we don't have the health service that they have in the UK here, or we don't have the health service that they have in the US. So what's very important for us in Nigeria is preventative medicine, as opposed to having to get the problem and then now deal with it in the developing institutions we have on the medical side. And that's the key thing, because we don't want a minor to be a major. Yeah, and that's the key. So yeah,
okay.
I hope that helps you.
Yes, thank you.
Vitamin B12, you can get this from supplements, but you can also get it, as you can see. Now we need about 2.4 micrograms. Yeah, this will help reduce. If you have deficiency in vitamin 12, it means you have a high risk of dementia. Yeah, so just look at that too. Look at your vitamin 12 levels. Yeah, vitamin 12 levels. Okay, moving on to more exciting things that we can do. Look, doctors recommend by research, it recommends that 40 minutes of brisk walk, not sweating and losing your breath, 40 minutes of brisk walk 3 times a week can help reduce the likelihood of getting dementia later, reverse earlier signs of dementia. Memory tests, when you do memory tests, when you do exercises, they're better. Okay, there's something called the hippocampus, which is in the center of the brain. What it does over time, it shrinks, but exercise has been shown to reverse the shrinkage in the brain. Yeah, so that's where all our thoughts are and everything is in there. So exercise is a good one on that side. Moving on. Mushrooms. We've seen mushrooms in different things. Mushrooms have been seen to help also. So we want to make sure we get a good source of mushroom vitamin D to support the brain function. The natural source of vitamin D to support the brain functions. But what I would advise, and also with mushrooms, by the way, guys, they find with women that consume the most mushrooms saw a big reduction in breast cancer risk. That's quite interesting also. So eat your mushrooms, ladies. What's recommended is you cook them, because there is natural traces of formaldehyde if you don't cook the mushrooms. So we recommend you cook them, just like in the Health Restore program. Even though some people have them uncooked, but I recommend, and scientists recommend, you cook them so that we don't have those traces of formaldehyde in there, natural flavor. Okay, omega-3. We've heard about it. All of us have been on it. You get it from fish, but we don't necessarily recommend, even though you can get it from fish, we recommend, and the reason why people get it from fish is you've got that long chain omega-3, which is the EPA and the DHA, which are the acids, used in brain chemistry, the only problem with getting it from fish, you also have saturated fats a bit some saturated fats in fish, which has the opposite effect. So on one hand, you're getting omega-3 that's going to reduce your risk of dementia or Alzheimer's. But on the other hand, while you eat the fish, you're also having saturated fat. And also, with the fish, you're getting some cholesterol. So it's a bit of a touch and go one. So, and also remember, fish is, to be honest with you, I know we have some fish lovers on this program, but fish is one of the dirtiest foods that we have now. And why is it the dirtiest food? Because the waters and the seas are becoming polluted, and polluted with if you think about it, they're becoming sewers. Because if you look at all the waste of humans, where do they go? Into the sea, into the water, and what's swimming in there? Yeah. So it's actually a dirty fish are becoming one of the dirtiest foods that we can actually eat. The smaller fish, the bigger fish eat the smaller fish, and the smaller fish transmit mercury and other heavy metals up the food chain. Now, remember we said about where do we get the metals that are affecting Alzheimer's? You can be getting it from fish. You can also be getting it from the cook where you're cooking it. Yeah. We talked about, but if you don't want to eat fish, you can get the DHA, the acids, DHA and EPA. You can get them from supplements. Remember, people low in EPA and DHA may have higher risk of Alzheimer's. Okay? Men who supplement have a higher risk of prostrate. So you've got to be careful, man, because those of you that supplement, you've got a higher risk of prostrate. So and remember in prostrate, and this is a big topic in Africa, in Nigeria, in Black Americans, that 1 in 4 men contract prostate cancer, which is very high. So we've got to be very careful in terms of the supplements that we're using also. But a great source again of omega-3, you might be surprised, might be very surprised at this one, is your green leafy. Your broccoli, yeah, your broccoli, your spinach, your kale. Yes, you said it. It has omega-3. Now, what you'll find is only 8% of the green leafy vegetables. Actually, 8% of the green leafy vegetables actually the calories. So 8% of the calories of green leafy vegetables have fat in there. But the good thing about it is most of that fat is good fat. Yeah. And a good percentage of that fat, yeah, is omega-3. So those are the those are things that we need to be aware of. And I think Sharon, you wanted to say a few words. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to say a few words. Yeah. Sharon.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, amazing. To know that green leafy vegetables has a high content of omega-3 natural exactly. Content is just because years gone by, I love fish and I always used to think, okay, natural omega-3 intake. And now it's just to know that green vegetables can actually take away all of that. And as you call the fish dirtiest fish ever, because of where they float and where they reside.
Yeah. They reside. Whether we like it or not, they reside in the sewer. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, yeah, if you had fish swimming in the sewer of your house, would you go and eat that fish?
No way.
Where does the sewer of the whole of Nigeria go to, or the whole of Africa go to? It goes to the ocean. Yeah. And then guess what happens? The fish are there, and then we go and catch the fish, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So unfortunately, Fish are the dirtiest food that you can eat. Even though even I've eaten fish, so don't worry.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's just the awareness and the knowledge, you know, if you can get the same amount of intake from green leaf, and I love green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, the whole lot. So it's just about intaking that much more than what you normally would if you're a fish lover. Anyway, like I was, I said.
Good. And I mean, the other thing that we have to understand is, look, we have to, knowledge is power. Yeah, knowledge is power.
Yes.
And why are we saying not fish? Because some of you will be like, I've been told fish, omega-3. Yes, you are right. You've been told the truth. Fish, omega-3. But what you have not been told is fish has saturated fat. Yeah, fish has cholesterol. And those two things plus more will increase your risk of Alzheimer's, dementia. Yeah, and also your brain health. So you're taking one, but you're then taking two that can be knocking off the effect of one. We talk about boosters and blockers, don't we? Or we talk about boosters and busters. So that's where we have. Okay.
Wow.
So
interesting.
Jeremiah, do you want to say a few words? Because I know Jeremiah was looking like he wanted to say a few words on that. Yeah.
Yes. Amazing information. So I just wanted to like that question that was asked about the alternative for berries. So I could sense where the person was actually coming from, which you mentioned one, which is the price, which you know is very, very costly. And the person is kind of looking for another alternative, like, okay, if I can have something else to replace that. So I was likely to say, okay, you can go for the apple. Apple also helps in the brain. And we can actually get that most places. And you can also get your berries in the supermarket. So, but due to the price and you look for another alternative, you can go for the apple, but not in comparison with the berries in order to perform its function to the brain, like the anthocyanins that are there and the other powerful antioxidants in the berries that can actually help you. So it's the best option. That's what you're trying to say. The berry is the best option, but if you're looking for a lesser option, which is also good and also has its own function to perform, and you actually want something, you can actually go for the apple. So that's what I was just.
Okay, yes. That's good. I mean, obviously, that's right, and what we're trying to say really is that we're looking for what the researchers have found that can actually. We were talking about berries as the number one of the berries were the top, the heavyweight champions. Yeah, and obviously there are other things that can add value to reducing the risk of cognitive decline, or reducing the risk of Alzheimer's dementia, just like Jeremiah said. Okay, so any other questions, Sharon, before I move on to the next section?
No.
Okay, cool. All right, so moving on so that you can see we're getting closer to the end. The other thing is iron. You know, people talk about iron. Yeah. Now, obviously, but people's source of iron, that's the situation, that's the challenge. Where we have heme iron, yeah, where you've got the red meat and the supplements and the cast iron. Now, the iron has been linked to Alzheimer's. Iron has been linked to Alzheimer's. And what we've got to be careful about is the type of iron that we're consuming. Because remember, we have heme iron and non-heme iron. And the difference is, remember, with heme iron, the body absorbs it. Yeah. And then guess what? It doesn't really get rid of it from the system. And you're getting heme iron from red meat and supplements and cast iron. Now, if it doesn't have a way of getting rid of it, then there's a knock-on effect to those things, which could mean it's linked to carcinogenic. It's also linked to as we said, Alzheimer's, and obviously the poor brain health. So we're not saying you shouldn't have iron, but we're saying you've got to be careful because it has been linked to it. Now, obviously, the next thing we're saying also is that non-heme iron is our preferred one to get your iron, because with non-heme, then what happens is the body takes it in. If it no longer needs it, it expels it. It excretes it from the body. Yeah. So that means that you lose a risk. You lose the risk of having a high level of iron over more than necessary in the body. Yeah? And that's with that. So as you can see, the ticks going on there. We also talked about the cruciferous vegetables. Jeremiah talked about them in terms of also helping the kale. They've got great things in there that will help us. Yeah. And then we've obviously got this one here is for Sharon's sake. She was asking where we can get zinc from, and I think Jeremiah has already answered, but at least you can see you've got the nuts, you've got the pumpkin seeds, you've got the beans, you've got the lentils, the sesame seeds. All these are good micronutrients. Yeah, so that's what we have there. Okay. The other thing we need is adequate sleep. Adequate sleep has shown to reduce inadequate sleep. Sorry, is shown to reduce your immune system. So if we have adequate sleep, that will help us, isn't it? What do we need by adequate sleep? Well, we need probably ladies 8 to 9, men 7 to 8. We've seen this before on our immune system. What does it do? It helps. It's getting too little sleep can have a direct impact on your cardiovascular, which obviously is going to also affect you in terms of being a high risk to having Alzheimer's, dementia. All these things, so what we need to do is we need to make sure we have adequate sleep. Okay. And this is just talking about what your immune system is compromised if you have less sleep. Okay? And they're just going through all these different things on that. So it's just sleep. So that's what I want to finish off on there. But I think before we go back to the kitchen to see what we have cooking in the kitchen. So Sharon, is there anything on your side that you want to talk about quickly regarding our side? We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'd just like to ask and get it clear about the supplements, because in one of your statements you said about getting the maximum omega-3 or getting an amount of omega-3, you can take supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then for the iron, you're saying that supplements can be linked to Alzheimer's through the heme iron. You call it heme iron.
Okay.
So the things we should avoid, really.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that match actually in one where you're saying you should take supplements for your iron, for your omega-3, which is what I'm thinking about, is that I need to do much more on green leafy vegetables, and you suggested supplements, and then in the heme iron, in the heme, you need to take supplements. I'm just trying to get the understanding between the two.
Well, what we say is we prefer you to get your heme iron, from your food, because you can get it from your food.
Yes.
Yeah. Supplements come in normally when you feel that you can't get it from the food. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And supplements, they're not our preferred way. Yeah, because really the body is used to food. Yeah.
Yes.
And the body knows how to, when you're eating food that has the vitamins that you require, the body knows how to expel the ones that you don't require. Yeah. Whereas when you're taking supplements, you're kind of like just forcing it in. And the body's now like, wow, I've got a lot of this now. So what do I do with it? Yeah. So just look at it. This you're taking food in, and your body takes that food and it just keeps on taking what it requires from that food. Yeah. Whereas when you take a supplement, you're just putting it in, bam. Yeah. And I'd also like Jeremiah to come here too, so he can also add some value to it. So also where you talked about something else, not heme. You talked about something else. You talked about supplements from hemine, and then you said something about omega-3, isn't it?
Yes,
You said
yes.
omega-3, yeah. So
Yes.
obviously we talk about omega-3 from fish, but we said why we're kind of skeptical about getting it from fish, yeah. But also we then said, okay, you can get it from supplements. Now you can get supplements like get fish oil supplements, which have omega-3, or you can get the vegan alternative, yeah, which is the seaweed one, which is the alkaline, yeah. You can get those ones, yeah. So obviously
Oh,
that's it,
okay.
yeah. So the other thing, and obviously I've now introduced you to the fact that you can get it from your green, your green
Yes.
dark leaves. So Jeremiah, do you want to come in on this one too?
Yeah, okay. On the supplement part, the supplement I'll just say is like the photocopy of the original. It's not actually the original. So anything supplement is most of the supplements are getting from the original source, made as an alternative if your body could not perform that function, your body is lacking that vitamin. So, but why bring supplements when you know that you can get those things from your natural food? So you can get it from the original source. So when we find out that your body is not functioning with the original source, this is when I can now introduce supplement as an alternative just to play that function or play that role it's ought to, but it's not the ideal thing we do. So we can get this thing from the original source. And if we can't, or your body cannot function with the original source, that's when we're now bringing supplements. But we need to test in the original source and allow your body to adjust to the original source, your body to work itself to introduce itself to those new things that you're bringing, which is from the original source, then it can fit in. So there'll be no need for the supplement at all. So that's just
Okay. That's very helpful. Thank you both.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go to the kitchen to see what's cooking in the kitchen. So do we have Chef Jessica there? Do we have Chef Jessica? Anyone there? Is there anybody there?
I'm here.
Okay, you're here. Okay, so we have Chef Jessica. So Chef Jessica, you've been working on our brain food. Yeah? So you've been working on our brain food, and we're looking for your food to help us improve our memory, yeah, improve the health of our brain, yeah, reduce or delay the risk of us getting some of these brain diseases, yeah. Also help us with regards to reversing some mild cognitive decline. So this is the food we're looking at. Yeah. So Chef Jessica, what do you have to show us?
Okay, so now our beans and rice is ready. So the next thing I'm going to be adding, which I told Jeremiah previously, I'm going to be adding the kale. Yeah, so I'm going to be adding the kale now, and then we'll give this a quick stir, and then we dish our food.
Right. Oh, I can see some food there. Oh, it's making me feel like I should be in Nigeria now. Yeah. Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
these are brain power.
so you add some extra brain power. Remember with kale. Remind us,
kale.
Jeremiah. Remind everybody, Jeremiah, about kale. Remind everybody about kale.
Yes, we talked about the kale and the cruciferous family. So one of the substances we find in it is the zinc. Yes, zinc is one of the powerful ingredients in it. So, and the zinc helps for brain development, brain metabolism, and brain functioning. So it helps you in giving you attention. It helps your memory in remembering things. So it helps you in taking decision, in decision making. So once your brain cognitive functioning is functioning properly well, it's good for you. So, and zinc is one of the things that does that. So zinc helps the brain to begin to function its particular order, like this is what you're supposed to do it at this time. You the cell be at this time. You the cell function at this time. You the cell function well. So zinc helps all those cells to play their function in the brain.
Great. So, okay. So the other thing that, remember with kale, we mentioned it just now, omega-3, don't we?
Yeah.
We have omega-3 there. So that's obviously going to help us on that side too. So that's with the kale. So fantastic. So thanks for sharing us that. So what do we have there? Looks like we have something else. What? So Chef Jessica, that looks nice. Let me just give it what it deserves. Let me remove myself and Jeremiah out the way. Yeah, wow. So I feel that looks a bit like a brain. Yeah, you sure you haven't designed it to look like a brain? Yeah. So we have brown rice in there, don't we? Just brown rice?
Yeah, we have brown rice and honey beans.
And honey beans.
Brown honey beans, yeah.
Right. Okay. So guys, the food of choice for your brain is in this show anyway today is brown rice, honey beans, kale. What else do you have? What else do you have there in the food? Oh,
We
you have some
tomatoes and pepper mix.
tomato. I like
And
tomatoes.
turmeric.
I like tomatoes because I think for men where we have prostate cancer or prostate enlargement, that helps on that side. That's good. And we have turmeric. That's great for the brain too.
Yeah, turmeric,
Fantastic.
ginger, onion.
Okay. Wow. Fantastic. Okay. So thanks for sharing that with us. Jeremiah, do you want to say anything before we move from the brain food? I'm sure you're going to be very brainy by the end of this.
This is what we call brain power.
Brain power. Okay.
Yes, and also there's another food they can actually make with that, which is your potato, the sweet potato. You can even do sweet potato and honey beans. Then with the
Great.
spicy that you use, you can also make
Great.
another brain power food again.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Sharon, do you want to say anything on the brain power food? Is Sharon there? Or she might not be there. Okay. So thank you very much, Chef Jessica. Thank you very much, The Kitchen.
Thank you,
Very
everyone.
simple
Thank
and easy. Very simple and easy. If anybody wants some food, brain power food today, just go to VI office and you get some brain power food. Thank you very much. Okay. So
Thank you.
So we're just going to move on to the next slide. So the next thing we're going to have just to show you. I hope you can see my slide. Can you see my slide? Jeremiah?
Yes, you can see your slide.
Okay, so obviously what we'd like you to do is the Health Restore program takes into consideration brain food. So we've got a section that's focusing on brain food. So if you need any help, any of you that are gold members or silver members, you can talk to the chefs. They can talk to you about type of foods that can help you. They can also tell you probably where to get the foods too. So for some people may have problems getting certain types of food. You might have problems with berries. You might have problems with brown rice, but they'll show you all that and they'll help you on that side. And then also Best Food Clinic. That's it. So I think we've got Nika. Nika, are you on the call? Nika is probably going to just give us a little bit of information on the Health Restore. So those of you that are on the Health Restore, I hope that let me just make sure. I hope you've actually, if Nika can, let me just make sure that Nika has access to unmuting herself. So Nika, try and unmute yourself now. Yeah, Nika.
Okay.
Are you there?
Great.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I am.
So Nika,
Thank you.
okay, so just to share with them just a little bit about the Health Restore, so that therefore they understand a little bit about the Health Restore, what you get, and how you get signed up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. Once again, good morning, everyone. My name is Nike, and I am the coordinator of the 30-day Health Restore program. Okay, I'm sure we've heard and learned a lot today about brain health and still onto health and how to take charge, take back our health. We have what we call the 30-day Health Restore program. Basically, the way I imagine most of us on the show have a car, And the way we would service our car from time to time so that it does not break down is the same way the Health Restore program has been designed to, help us restore our health, to take our health back. So that's essentially what it's about. And it's a 30-day program, can also be 15 days, depending on your subscription. We have two options for subscription. We have the 1-year membership subscription, and we have the 6 months. So that's the gold membership, and we have the silver membership. Those are the two. The gold goes for 50,000 naira, and the silver goes for 30,000 naira. Now, once you decide to, sign up to the Health Restore program, you would typically get a call from me where I'd sign you up, and then, payment is made. Once your payment has been confirmed, you would get from us your login details, which gives you access to your meal plan. It could be for the 30-day if it's gold membership, or the 15-day, which is the silver membership. You get your login details. I don't know if I could, yes, very quickly, just to show you what I'm, buttress what I'm talking about, like on the slides here. So your login details comprise of your username and your password. Once you've logged onto the link, it brings you to this page where you see, and this gives you access, like I said earlier, you have access to your meal plan. So if you look to my right, I have here where it says Start Cooking. So on there, if you click on Start Now, you would see your meal plan for the 30 days or 15 as it were. Then next to that, you have the nutrition classes. If you click on Start Now, you'd see the recordings of the different superfoods for Super You show, like the one we have today. So once you get in there, even if you're not able to make one of the shows like today's, you can always go back and watch the recordings. Now, there's restricted access, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Tony, this is for the gold members. So you would have to, yes, okay. So for gold members, you have access to the recordings. For silver members, you would have to upgrade to gold membership to have access to the nutrition classes, the recordings of the nutrition classes. Then you also have your shopping list, which gives you, from week to week 1 through to 4, all the ingredients that are required for you to have, just as a way of helping you organize yourself before starting your Health Restore program. Then, next to that, you'd get a check-in call from me weekly, just to see how you are getting on, to get your feedback, to see if you have any challenges that I can help you look into. So, just to help you achieve, or at least get you close to achieving your health goals at the end of the program. So that's it with check-in calls. Then we'd also tell you the do's and don'ts of the program. No cheating, eating what you've been advised to eat so that you can get the absolute best out of the program. So I think, that's it from me. I don't know if Mr. Tony has, if you have any questions or any other thing you'd like to answer.
I think that's fine. I think just Sharon is just quickly come on just to say a few words, and then we're finished. Okay. So, Sharon, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sharon. Okay, let me just see if I can ask Sharon to unmute. I think I've asked you to unmute now.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So over to you, Sharon.
Okay. All right. So the Health Restore program is a great program to go on to actually add to the information that you've received today. And as Nikki has already explained, we're a team of people who help you along the journey. And we have lots of people who have been on the 30-day Health Restore. So don't delay if this is something that you wish to do, and make the decision today, because our health is our wealth. And we need to actually take care of our health so we can avoid some of those things that have been shared with us today. Okay.
So thank you, Sharon. Sharon, so just quickly, just summarize what we've just summarized for today, what's happened, so that at least we can wrap up now. So thank you very much for coming on the call, everybody. Thank you very much. Now it's just a case of just looking at one or two things, highlight a few things. So Sharon, would you like to highlight a few things that can help anybody that you've picked up, that can help anybody that wants to reduce their cognitive decline?
Yes, I think that for me, the study that you shared with us, that was done on 11-year-olds, and then as adults they were seen again, was enough evidence for me to know that your cognitive skills are lowered by the way that we live and follow our foods and our diet. So I've learned a lot about reducing the risk of cognitive decline for a healthier brain. And I've also learned about genes versus diet. So genes and how you've broken that down. One of the most kind of like startling things for me, apart from learning about those vitamin E foods and the B12 foods and the importance of exercise and sleep, was the fish. I have to say, the fish, I think, might be going out of the window. I wasn't taking, now that you said that green leafy vegetables can be a substitute, a high substitute. And if you like to take care of what's going on in your health and your brain, let's just move into a more healthier way of living. So we don't, I personally want to not be experiencing some of those things that you've talked about, which can lead to Alzheimer's. So it's never too late, and it's never too young.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. And Jeremiah, anything on that?
Okay, so we've seen the brain power food for today. And I also give another good option food. I know some people were asking, apart from the rice and beans, any other food. So like I said, the sweet potatoes and beans and some of the recipe that she used can also go. So you can get access to me, you can get access to her if you want different recipes for your brain power food. So that's for me.
Fantastic. I mean, at the end of the day, the show is just really to reduce the risk and also to delay. Remember, we talk about lifespan and health span. What we want to do is we want to increase our health span during our lifespan. And increasing our health span is for us to have good brain function. And having good brain function means that it's not just linked to your genes. You're not condemned just because of your genes. You also can, your diet and what you do can have a major impact on whether you have these diseases or whether you delay them for later on in life. And I like delay and I like prevent. Yeah. But obviously we want to make sure that we do the right things now. We have a little bit of control. Yeah. In fact, I say a lot of control on whether we get it or we don't. Don't listen to the old research that says, well, you have to wait and see whether you get it. No, don't wait and see. Take action. Take action now. Learn your power foods for your brain. Learn your power foods for your brain because your brain needs to be powerful and you need to be powerful. When your brain's powerful, you are powerful. So we want powerful foods for the powerful brain. So prevention is better than cure. So let's get the berries, the top ones, the berries in there. Let's get the green leafy vegetables in there. Yeah. Let's get some exercise in there. Let's get some vitamin E in there. Let's sleep well. Yeah. And let us do a lot of activity so that the brain is always active. So that's me. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Yeah. And that's Superfood for Super User over and out. So thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you. So we just have to unmute. Yeah. The last standing people on the show. Let's see. So, okay, Shan, you want to say bye-byes? You don't have that many to do today because we are, yeah. So over to you, Shan.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being on board. I hope that your brain is fired up to make that journey, that decision that is going to give us a better life, healthier life. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Good Luck. Yeah, thank you always being there. Thank you, Mr. Abiola. Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Vito. Yeah, thank you very much. Or I think we allowed them to mute all. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. So bye bye everybody. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Mr. Tony. Thank you,
Bye bye.
Sharon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Good
Bye.
Luck.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
Bye.
you.
See
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
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 Take care. Have a good brainy week.
Thank you.
Powerful brainy food. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You're gonna have the brainy food in the office. Let's see how your brain's at. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Thank you.
right then. Bye bye everybody. Bye.
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 Take care.
Bye.
Everybody. Bye.
Bye.